Welcome at Pizza and More. Which tools are necessary to bake a pizza and which tools are absolutely required? Which tools are only nice to have? I'm Juergen and I explain and I show you now the tools what I strongly would recommend and what's also nice to have, which makes pizza baking simply easier. In the video description you will find listed all those tools, also with some links to it. You can go to these links, have a look, compare it with other tools, and then if you want to buy something, choose whatever you want. I'm also not always using the most expensive ones. There are also cheaper alternatives available. We start, I would say, with creating the dough to the end when we cut the pizza ready to eat. And when I say we start with creating the dough, then I mean we start with a kitchen balance. So for me, such a balance is absolutely necessary and really strongly recommended. I know some of you might measure your flour, your water and all the things with spoons, with cups, with whatever. But each cup has a different size, each spoon has a different size, so the result at the end will always be a different one. If you want to have always the great and the nice and the same result, maybe like your neighbor, then it's really necessary to scale all the ingredients. And when I say all ingredients, then I mean also water. The next thing what I would strongly recommend is such a precision balance or precision scale. This precision scale is able to measure the ingredients up to a 100th, which means I can also measure 0.01, for example. Especially for yeast, this might be important if we follow the recipe very strong and very accurate. I'm normally also not following it up to the second digit after the comma. I also use always the first. So if this is 0.7 grams, then I use 0.7. If it's 0.71, I still use 0.7. So, but especially for dry yeast, it's absolutely important. And from my perspective, also strong recommended to use such a precision balance. Of course, if you have fresh yeast and you need 2 grams of fresh yeast, you have to remember if you roll a ball of fresh yeast in your fingers, which has the size of a pea, for example, this is 1 gram. So you can use this, but especially for dry yeast, you 100% have to use a precision balance. The next one, what you could use is a dough machine. You could use a spiral mixer, you could use a normal kitchen mixer, but this is not really necessary. You also can knead your dough by hand. This is also possible and it works. So you could use, for example, such a wooden box, which is called madia. This is the real traditional dough box, which was used several hundred years ago in Italy to make dough, pizza dough. I'm not a 100% fan of it, but it's okay, I have it, but I don't use it normally. If you knead your dough by hand, you also could use a normal bowl to produce your dough. It could be a plastic one, it could be a metal one, it could be a glass one, it doesn't matter. So it's not necessary to have a kitchen machine or a mixer, a stand mixer or whatever. You can do it by hand. Then we continue with, and we let our dough raise. To let the dough rest in a bulk fermentation, you could also use this bowl where you kneaded the dough, and you can use then the lid to close it because then the dough can't get dry. Quickly in between what I forgot for the dough machine. For example, I have a dough machine where it's not possible to put the bowl away. So this bowl is always fixed to the machine and it's very hard to clean it. Therefore, there are such cleaners available. This is like a cloth and you can use it to clean the dishes and so on. And with this, it works perfectly because a bit of water to this, and then you can clean the bowl very easily. All the dough rests go away, and then you can take this and put it into the dishwasher, and afterwards this is pretty clean. But now back to the leavening. So as I said, you can use such for the bulk fermentation. You could use any bowl, whatever you want. It's important to be able to close it. You also could use a plastic wrap, but to be a bit, for our environment, to look after the environment, it's better to have a box with a lid. Not better, but also possible is such a dough box. And such a dough box is something I would also 100% recommend. Because such a dough box has a lid, it fits perfectly into the fridge, and you can do the bulk fermentation and you can do the leavening of the pizza balls in this box. 6 pizza balls you are able to put 6 pizza balls into this box. So I would really strongly recommend such a box. This box, as I said, is for 6 pizza balls. If you have an event or whatever and you have to have more pizzas, then there are bigger boxes available. These bigger boxes are like this. You can see here I have also a lid. The box is not that high, but this is also enough. There is space for 12 pizza balls, but the disadvantage is it does not fit into a normal fridge. But it's also good to use, especially if you have to create more pizzas. The next thing I want to show you is such an olive oil can. It's made from copper. For me personally, it's an absolutely must-have because this is so traditional. You see, if you are in Naples or somewhere in the south of Italy or in Italy, at each pizza place you will find such an olive oil can, and I really would recommend to have such an olive oil can. This is, for me, it belongs to pizza baking. It's not 100% necessary. Of course, you can use each other bottle or can as well, but for me personally, it's important. The next, what I would recommend is such a Parmesan grater. If you use fresh Parmesan or Grana Padano, like you see in my videos, what I always use, you can use such a grater to grate the Parmesan freshly onto your pizza. There are lots of different available. This one I have others as well, but this is the most preferred one. But this is also something which is recommended if you have a fresh Parmesan cheese. The next what's important are such dough scrapers. This smaller one is good with this round size to put the dough out of the bowl. The bigger one is great if the dough sticks maybe to your counter, then you can release it with this bigger one. This is also a tool which is not 100% necessary, but strongly recommended. But what is 100% necessary is such a spatula. We use this spatula and this is a tough one, not the flexible one. We can use this spatula to divert the dough, so to separate the dough into the small pieces. We use the spatula also to release it from the counter if it sticks. We use the spatula to take out the dough balls out of the box after leavening when we want to bake pizza. And here you might have seen my video how to take the dough balls out of the box. And here such a spatula is really 100% strongly recommended. The next thing is we start baking our pizza. What's necessary to bake the pizza? It's a pizza oven. So this is an electrical one. My gas pizza oven is outside. So for me, this is really the big distance from a kitchen oven. Even my kitchen oven here is able to make 300 degrees. The distance from and the taste from a normal kitchen oven to a pizza oven is that high. Even if you have the same dough, you make a pizza from the same dough in such a kitchen oven or in a pizza oven. It doesn't matter, is this a gas oven, a wooden oven, or an electrical one. Here, really the high temperature is the most important thing. And this is for me also strongly recommended to have a pizza oven. Of course, a pizza oven is expensive. If you won't spend that huge amount of money, then you can also pimp up a bit your kitchen oven with a pizza stone. This is a pizza stone. The thicker the pizza stone, the better it is. My one is a very thin one. It's not ideal, it works, but normally I don't use it anymore because I have the pizza ovens. You can also use pizza steel. The pizza steel is even a bit better than a pizza stone because it keeps the heat better and gives the heat better to the pie. So such a thing also is a bit of an improvement if you have to use a normal oven. The next thing we need is we need something to bring the pizza from our counter into the oven or onto the stone. And this is a pizza peel. I show you now 3 different versions. The first one is a wooden one. This is very thin wood. I don't use it anymore. I use it only to serve the pizza. If I have guests, it looks nice if you serve the pizza. It has a big disadvantage. I will tell you about this disadvantage later. The next thing we could use is such an aluminum pizza peel. This works as well, but this one has the same disadvantage like the wooden peel has. The disadvantage is, with this peel, we bring all the semolina, which is under the pizza, when we form the pizza, into the oven, onto the stone. Because, it's still there. And in the oven, the semolina will burn, and then we have a bitter taste on our pizza. So therefore, it's better. And this is something which is strongly recommended, is a pizza peel with these holes, because if you launch a pizza with this kind of pizza peel, then all the semolina falls through those holes, this perforated peel, and then it's far better. There are also lots of different versions available. Search for the version you like. I have here a professional one which works really fantastic. But as I said, there are cheaper versions also available. But we need a pizza peel to launch our pizza into the oven. There are also some other possibilities with a metal blade or whatever, but the best is simply to use a peel. The next one, you might have seen this already. This is a smaller pizza peel. This is a so-called turning peel. We need this turning peel to turn our pizza in a gas oven or in the wood-fired oven or in such an oven, in an electrical oven. It can be the case that you have to turn the pizza. In my pizza oven, it's not necessary to turn the pizza, but in the gas or wooden-fired oven, definitely you have to turn it. And therefore is such a turning peel really recommended. It works quite well, but it's not 100% necessary, because we also could use a normal peel, take the pizza out of the oven, turn the pizza with the hand, and then launch it again. So the turning peel is also not really necessary. The pizza is now baked. One thing I forgot for baking, which is really important, is such an infrared thermometer. Because we have to measure before we start with the first pizza, we have to measure the temperature of our pizza stone. So to bake a Neapolitan pizza, for example, we need a stone temperature between 420 and 480 degrees, something like this. And therefore, it's necessary to measure the temperature with such an infrared thermometer. Otherwise, there is the danger that the stone is not hot enough. The pie or the pizza might stick to the stone, or it's not really properly cooked. So measuring the temperature is important. When our pizza is then ready baked, we have to take it out of the oven, and then we can put it onto such a wooden board. I think personally it looks nice if you serve your pizza on such a wooden board, or if you cut the pizza, then it's also better to cut it with wood as at the bottom instead of having a normal plate at the bottom. However, for cutting the pizza, we could use such a pizza cutter. You know this with this wheel at the end, but I don't like this kind of pizza cutters because I think you always push all the toppings to the end. For me, it will not work properly. So therefore, I never ever use this. This is only a relic from earlier times. But what I use, and this is this one, this is a pizza chopper. It's a big knife. It works fantastically, and you really can cut the pizza. Okay, you can use also a big kitchen knife. This will also work. And you don't push all the toppings in front of you or in front of the wheel. You cut them through and it works fantastically. I'm personally a fan of pizza scissors. For me, this works really great. If you want to show how full of air the crust is, you could use easily the scissors, because then you can cut in the first instance the top, then the bottom of the crust, and then you can show it without pressing the crust with a knife or with that pizza cutter. I used the scissors always my whole life. I used scissors for cutting my pizzas, and this is now a real pizza scissors. This is pretty good because I can part it and then it's easy to clean. It's not necessary because you can use also each other knife, of course. And now we are at the end. We can enjoy our pizza, therefore we don't need any tool. And you saw there are a few things which are necessary from my perspective, and I would strongly recommend to have those. Search for those tools you want, because I can guarantee you, if you have fun with creating pizza, and this is one of the most important ingredients of a nice pizza dough, this is the passion and this is fun in making pizza, and only if you have fun and if you like the making of the pizza, it will have the right taste, and you taste it, I'm 100% sure. And if you have those tools, it makes fun and it's easier to work with the dough, and you will enjoy it and you will see it works. If you like my video, I would be absolutely happy if you would subscribe my channel, and then we see us in the next video. Ciao!